Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is about a week from the ending of the Act 8.1 beta, and I just gotta say that I absolutely loved the beta. I 100% explored the entire thing. I don't think there was a single boss or path that I really kind of shook my head at and said they really need to change this, aside from maybe there were a couple that were too easy. But today we're going to go over my third favorite lane and my third favorite boss, and in the coming couple of days you'll also see videos about my second favorite lane, second favorite boss, and then favorite lane and favorite boss. So first up we have the Act 8.1.3 Rage 1.5 lane with Combo Party, From My Cold Dead Hands, and Foresight. So this lane I really enjoyed it because I used Black Cat. I was lucky enough to pull her as a 6-star on the live server and awaken her from just another cav, and I used her for the entirety of this lane. So the lane, Rage 1.5, we're familiar with Rage. If you deal more than a certain amount of damage, the opponent is going to gain a Fury buff. At 5 Furies, they'll go unblockable for the remainder of the fight. There's also Combo Party, which is every 10 hits in the combo meter, you're going to gain increased critical damage rating buffs, and if you get hit, you'll take damage. There's From My Cold Dead Hands, which is a new node, or a relatively new node, which says that for each buff nullified, staggered, or fate sealed off the defender, inflict burst of 200% direct damage to the attacker, so you don't want to use nullified champs. And then there's also Foresight, which is increased damage when you intercept the opponent. 200% attack rating for 5 seconds after intercepting the opponent. And then there's also Aggressive on here. So it's really, really easy to keep intercepting or to keep heavy countering without having to worry about the opponent becoming defensive or gaining too much power. Alright, so we are now at my third favorite boss in the entirety of the Act 8.1 beta. This was the Daredevil Hell's Kitchen boss in Act 8.1.5. So the reason why I like this boss so much is because of the new node that I see here, Assault Battery. So it's kind of like a cross between Power Shield and Destructive Feedback, and I found it really, really fun to play around in combination with some of the other nodes. So Assault Battery itself, at the start of the fight, the defender takes no damage from any source and instead stores it in a damage battery, like Destructive Feedback with a shield. But whenever the defender is knocked down by a special attack, the battery is emptied and the defender immediately takes 200% of all damage stored. So like Power Shield, except instead of the special attack gaining increased attack rating, it's just the damage itself gets inflicted, like with Destructive Feedback. However, whenever the attacker is knocked down, the battery is emptied onto the attacker, so you take the damage instead. So I really enjoyed this sort of cross between Power Shield, Destructive Feedback. Also here we have Power to Cower, which is increased power gain rate and also decreased special costs for the defender for every hit in the combo meter. Special Attack 3 resets that. It doesn't really come into play aside from maybe making it easier for you to play around the defender's special attacks. There's also Fight or Flight, which is basically the defender gaining a unstoppable buff for 4 seconds every 12 seconds. But the attacker will get the buff instead if they are far away from the defender when the timer expires. There's also Oscillate, which is alternating between the defender being very aggressive when they have a Fury passive active, and very defensive when they have an Armor Up crit resistance passive. And then there's also Enhanced Abilities, which all abilities trigger 200% more often. That's basically just going to affect Daredevil Hell's Kitchen Shrug ability. And if you use the right champs, it benefits you. Here I used Bishop, and you'll see the video. Just super, super easy because he inflicts that passive stun and has massively damaging special attacks. Awesome fight. And then I've also used Toad. I used my 565 Toad for, I think, once or twice for this fight as well, and he did just as good.